Hi, everyone. Welcome to Alcoa City Schools Technology Training. Today, we are focusing on Gmail and Gmail Mobile. If you're viewing this live in person or looking at this video after it's been recorded, make sure you do check out that URL. There is a resource doc that you need to access, tinyurl.com/Alcoa 9-8. When you enter that URL, it'll actually take you to this slide. Once here, go ahead and click on the resource doc link, and it will take you to this Google Doc. All right. On this doc are the items that I'll be covering today. You can follow along if you'd like. Where there are links, you will find more information, mostly taken from the Google Workspace for Education support page. So simply click on the link, you'll be taken there, and you'll have that information at your fingertips. All right. So again, we'll give you this URL one more time. When we try to keep these web addresses simple, we use tinyurl, and then we just add the /Alcoa, and then the date of the training session, Alcoa 9-8. Okay. So today's focus is Gmail. So if you would like to pull up Gmail in a new browser tab, you may go ahead and do so. I'll do that. The address for Gmail is going to be mail.google.com. Just like any other Google service that is based online, it's going to start with the name of the product followed by .google.com. So docs is doc.google.com, meet.google.com, and here we have mail. All right. So the first thing that we want to talk about here is our quick settings. And our quick settings are going to be available over here on the right. And if you click your little gear icon, they're going to become visible. You'll see them in this little pane right over here in this area. You can toggle that on or off. So if you don't see it, click your gear icon and you'll have access to them. All right. There are obviously many more settings in Gmail, but these are going to be the settings most often used. And we're going to be going through them one at a time.
Do you want
the first thing that I want to suggest that you do, if you haven't already, is to enable apps in Gmail. What does that mean? Enabling apps in Gmail is going to give you quick access to Google Chat, Spaces, and Meet, all from within Gmail. And this also applies to the mobile app as well. So if you download the Gmail app, which we'll talk about later, you have quick access to all of these apps built right into Gmail. All right, you can see we have the access over here on the left-hand side. We can quickly go back and forth from one to the next. All right, so go ahead and enable that if you haven't already. And really the only option here that we see in our quick settings regarding these apps is if you click customize, you can choose which ones you do or don't want to appear. So there's only two available to us at this point. So we can say we want both of these options visible. So we're going to go ahead and check them. If you decide you don't want one visible, you can always uncheck it and click done. And then it will have to reload your Gmail. And then you won't see that app over here on the left-hand side. All right, let's go ahead and re-enable that. Once again, we'll just check it and then click done. Reload one more time. Okay. Moving on. You can also customize the density of Gmail. All right, we are using the default style right now, but you have comfortable, which actually is going to put a few more spaces in between your messages, and the text makes it, in some cases, easier to read. Compact will bring the messages a little bit closer together. I sort of feel like that makes it cramped. So I just go with the default style here. All right, you can see we also have themes you can choose from. So this is a way you can customize the Gmail experience. All right, you can choose any one of these presets here. These are ones and themes that I've applied in the past. We click View All. You're going to see we have many to choose from. All right. All we have to do here is click the theme and then click Save, and it will apply it. Okay. I don't particularly care for this one, so I will go back to my default one here. And we're back to the way we had it before. One last thing I will say about themes is if you click View All, you have the option to, I believe, upload your own photo here. And we should see that. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Under My Photos. So this is going to pull images from your Google Photos. All right. So if you have uploaded them there to that service, you should see them. Okay. All right. Continuing. Your inbox type. I'm going to suggest that we all just leave it set to the default style here. Right. You can, of course, customize this if you want. For me, the default style just makes sense. If you chose important first, you're going to have to rely on artificial intelligence in order to have important emails appear at the top of the list, right? So that might mean that you miss some emails because this is done with the AI, all right? So I like having that control myself. You also have the option to have all your unread messages first at the top of your email list, starred first, priority inbox. You have multiple inboxes. All right. So a lot of ways you can customize this experience here. Reading pane, that's a good option. I like this right of inbox option right here because what it allows me to do is go through and preview the messages just by clicking on the title right here. And you can increase or decrease the size of your pane here by just clicking and dragging, moving to the left or to the right. Based on how far you drag to the right, it's going to redraw the message. In some cases, it will show you some icons that represent perhaps attachments there. Okay, this works for me. Choose what works for you. And then, of course, there's the email threading. So if you have an email thread going on and you want to keep them all together, make sure that you check this. All right, it's a good idea. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close out of our quick settings for right now. And let's talk about managing our inbox. All right, it doesn't take long before your inbox starts to become full of messages. And I deliberately sort of ignored my inbox today so that I would have more emails to work with so I could demo for our training today. It's a good idea as you have the emails come in, if you read them, to do something with it, okay? Not just leave everything in your inbox. So in this case right here, I'm going to demonstrate. I've got this email from TDOE, all right? And so I'm going to go ahead and read it. I can see it over here. This may or may not be important. If I deem it important, I'll go ahead and I'll just say, I'm going to archive it. All right. I don't want to delete it because if you delete a message, it's going to put it in your trash. After 30 days, it will be gone. All right. If you feel like there's a chance that you may need to reference this email at a later time, just go ahead and archive it. It's no big deal. You can always get back to it. All right. So to archive a message, you're just going to choose it. And then you're going to hit this little icon right here where it says archive. If I can zoom in on it a little, should be able to see it. That's what it looks like right there. Okay. You'll also see that option if you right click on the message. Here it is once more. Okay. So the difference between archiving and deleting, archiving, you can access it later. You'll find it in the all mail over here on the left-hand side. This is where it actually keeps archived messages. Whereas if you delete it, puts it in your trash, after 30 days, it's no longer there. Okay. All right, let's talk about moving messages to tabs. You can see we have lots of tabs over here. They're also called labels, right? I think that's what Gmail refers to them as. And you can think of these as folders, right? Which is exactly how they function. All right, if you like to stay organized and keep select emails in certain folders or tabs here, or labels, as they call them. It's quite easy to do. Gmail is drag and drop, so all you'd have to do is just drag your email into the label that you want it to go. Right. Another way to do this is to right click on the message and you can say move to. All right, so now let's say you want to move your message to a label, but you don't have any label set up. You can see I have lots of labels set up already. But if I wanted to create a new one, I would just choose the move to option and then come over here and say create new. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll call this TBOE. All right, we'll check this option because we want it to be nested underneath another folder. All right, so it's going to ask for the parent folder. In this case, we're going to say this, just going to pretend TDOE is related to technology. So let's say I want to put it inside that label, and then I'll click create.
Anything else?
All right. And then it went ahead and it put it in there. All right. Pretty easy to do. And remember, you have a small window which you can undo something if you want. All right, let's do that one more time. All right. So control click or right click. We're going to say move to. We can say create new.
Did you not put all this?
All right, this one is going to be
in the middle of 5th period. Miss Egan was like, "What's this?"
American Reading Company.
Green passed away.
We're going to nest that.
And so then everybody was going down.
Put that in tech as well.
Passed away. Did you
And
know?
we'll click create.
It's like, yes, I heard.
And it put it in there for us. Okay? Pretty easy to do.
Or actually, mourn the passing of the Queen. Look back at it.
Just FYI, you can manage all of your tabs by going to your more settings. Right? How you get there is by clicking on the
Pretty
gear
amazing.
icon
Pretty
and
amazing.
choosing see all settings.
No, I literally think she's old. I was like, I think she might outlive
All right,
me.
and it's actually going to be the second tab, labels. All right, you can see what they all are, and if you need to make changes to any of them, you simply click the edit button right here, and then make your change. Okay, we'll go back to our inbox. Forwarding messages to other folks is actually very easy. You just choose the message, click on your 3 dots over here where you will see more, and there's the forward option. Okay, easy enough. Snoozing and muting, you'll see there on the agenda. So basically what a snooze is going to, how it's going to work is just like snooze on your alarm clock. So you know when that alarm goes off, you want to have more sleep.
Here,
You touch the button, and then maybe 5 minutes later, it's going to come back.
keep
All
going.
right. So we can do the same thing with email messages. Maybe you just don't want to see it in your inbox, but you know that later you would like to visit
We
it.
have to go.
Here's what you do. You're going to select the message,
This
right
is-
click again, and then choose snooze.
So it's like your hands.
Right.
on the
When you
door.
do that, you
If
can
I
say,
go like
let's
this,
snooze
it doesn't
until
matter if it's your hand or not.
later today, tomorrow, a
So
few
if
presets
somebody's
here,
right, the hand right here,
maybe next week,
then this.
where you could pick the
happens
date
there?
and time yourself.
So my
Right.
hand, it's
Whatever you choose,
from
what's
the
going to
main
happen
hand,
is that the
I made it.
message will disappear from your inbox, and then based on the time that you selected, it'll automatically come back, and you'll see it as an
Good color.
unread message. So it'll look like it's brand new. Okay. Muting a message is useful if you've become involved with a group email thread, and folks are replying to all, and you're getting inundated with messages that might not necessarily pertain to you. All right, so what you can do is you can mute a message. So what you're going to do is you're going to control click and just choose mute. Okay. All right. Easy enough. We talked about filters before. All right. Actually, we talked about labels before, but filters work a little bit differently. They work alongside labels. So what happens is you can tell Gmail to go ahead and do things with emails that come to your inbox. All right, so if we apply a filter here, we can say, all right, skip the inbox, automatically put it in this folder over here. Or maybe you could say you want to delete it. Okay, those options are going to be up to you. So say, for example, this message right here, I want all of these filtered so that they go into a certain label. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the message. I have it here. Now, you're not going to see a filter in these set of options. Where you're going to find filter is by clicking the three dots right here. Okay, so we'll choose that, and then we'll say filter messages like this. Okay. All right, so in this case, it's going to say, so anything that's coming from that AES, we want to go ahead and filter. Okay, so there it is right there. You can get very specific. You could add who it's to, the subject heading. We're just going to leave things as is. So basically anything coming from that email address, we want to create a filter for. So we'll say create filter, and then you're going to see your options. We can choose to skip the inbox, which will archive it. You can see it if you go to all mail. All right. So we can check that. Let's see. Apply a label to it. So this is what we'll select in order to get it into a folder. So we can choose our folder here. I'm just going to say new label. I'll call it AES. We will nest that under, we'll say underneath ESC. All right, we'll click create. And then this is important here. You want to check this option if you have other messages that you would like to automatically place and have those filtered as well. So you just check that, and it'll take all those emails that have been sent from that sender, and it will place them in there. It's a great way to clean up your inbox, right? You finish by just clicking create filter. All right. All right, let's get back to our inbox, see how we're doing. All right. Contacts. You're going to see your contacts over here on the right. Right. So look for this little blue icon that says contacts. When you choose it, all of your contacts are going to go ahead and pull up. Right. So if you want to find out information about them, just click on them. At this point, you can send them a message, schedule something in calendar, send them a chat message, or do a Google Meet. What's also nice here is that it'll show you all your recent interactions with them. And if you want to see more beyond what is just visible here in this little reading pane, you can click more. It'll show you all the conversations you've had, not just email, but chats, as well as the files that have been shared with them. So this is very, very useful. All right. If you want to view this contact in Google Contacts, simply click this icon here. It'll open up in a new tab, and it'll take you to contacts.google.com, where you can manage your contacts. You can't really do it inside of Gmail. All right. So contacts functions alongside of Gmail. All right. Okay. Let's get into sending a message. All right. So you're going to see the compose button right here. And you want to make sure that you are, of course, in Mail. So if you have your other workspace apps installed and visible, make sure you're in Mail when you go to send an email. So click Compose, and then you start typing the email address. You just use Ms. Phelps, since she came up earlier. Add your subject heading, and start creating your message. Now you have formatting controls down here at the bottom, and I'm going to expand this a little bit so it's slightly easier to see. You have your font selections right here, font styles, your font sizes, of course, bold, italics, underlined, font color. So this is going to be rich text formatting here. You can choose your alignment. We can do bulleted lists here, numbered lists, change your indents, add a quote to it, strike through. These should be familiar controls. We also have the undo and the redo. All right, so formatting is not that difficult. And, you know, depending on the information that you're sending, you might want to take advantage of some of these options here, especially if you have some info in your email that is more important than others. You really want to highlight. Take advantage of these tools here. All right, when you go to send an email, you have the option to not send it right away, but also schedule it. Right. This is nice if you maybe don't want it to go out to the next day, or you're working late at night and you don't want it to go out right then and there. Just choose the schedule send option, and then you can choose from a number of presets here, or you can yourself pick the date and time, and it will send it out. All right. FYI, where that message goes, if you need to revisit it or add something to it, you'll see it over here on the left-hand side under scheduled, right? It will appear as just a draft. You can get back into it and make your changes. Okay. I'm going to go back to drafts here. And here's the one I was just working on. All right. Schedule send, just went over that. Read receipts. Some of you may not know that we have this option here. So there are some third-party utilities that let you know when email has been read. We've actually turned that service on here in Alcoa, and you can access it by clicking on your three dots here for more options, and then choosing the request read receipt option. Okay, so when you do that, after it's sent, the recipient will be notified that you're asking them for confirmation that they've read it. They'll have to agree to it, and then you know whether or not they've read it, right? And that works very well. So you don't actually have to install a third-party utility. This little option here should suffice. Okay, confidential mode. That's fairly new. So the way I understand this works, and in my testing. So let's think about a scenario where you might want to send very private confidential information out to a recipient, but you don't want them to be able to do anything with it. So in other words, maybe not print or forward, and you want the email to expire. So you don't want it sitting in their inbox where somebody else can maybe potentially get to it. All right, that's where confidential mode will come in handy. All right, so you'll see in your more options here, where is our confidential mode? Do I not have it turned on here? Oh, it's an icon. I was looking all for it. Yeah, it's going to appear right here. So this is what it looks like. You can toggle it on or off. So we'll choose that, and you can set your expiration date. And if you want to require a passcode, you can do that as well, an SMS passcode. So obviously you'll need to have their mobile number. What's going to happen when they try to read the message, it'll send a verification to their cell phone. They'll enter that, and then they'll be able to read it, all right, provided you've chosen that option there. Okay. Again, there may be situations where that feature comes in handy, especially if you're working with confidential information. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I got something sticky
Right.
outside.
Undo send. That's
Yes.
another great one here as well. So you've got the option to quickly bring back an email that you just sent out there.
No.
The
It's fine.
default setting, I believe, is 5 seconds you have from which you can change your mind.
Probably
If you want to increase that, what you're going to do is you're going to go to your settings,
a race tonight, and everybody's coming to the
see all settings,
Or they
and then in the general tab, you're going to see the undo send option. The highest you can go, like I said, is 30 seconds. So go ahead and choose that. And then what happens when you send an email, you'll see over on the left-hand side, the undo option appears. And you'll have 30 seconds, in my case, for which you can undo, and then at which point it becomes a draft.
Here,
My
Yeah,
stuff's in the
actually
car.
yeah, it is.
All right. And I've found that right after I click send, a few seconds later, I realized, oh, I didn't include the attachment. This is a great way to reverse that and make those corrections. Okay. Let's come back to our inbox. Compose. Templates. That's another very useful one. If you're finding that you're sending the same messages out occasionally with the same wording, rather than having to retype all those, what you can do is actually create a template. So you'll find down here, click your more options, you'll see templates. So I have several that I've used through the years. You can choose any of them. or you could create new ones on the fly here. All right, so how it's going to work is you compose your message, and that's how you save it as a template. All right, so if I said, all right, and then let's just say I had a bunch of information down here about something important. I don't want to have to retype it. So we then come back down here to more options, go to templates, and we can say, save this draft as a template. All right. And we give it a name. Click save. All right, so now watch what happens. When we go to compose a message, come down here to more options, go to templates, and look, there's the one I just created, greetings. If I choose that, there's the message. It automatically put another signature because I have signatures in there by default. So it just doubles it up. And there it is, right? So in my case, I've got several to choose from. And let me show you one that I just created using a new feature that hit Gmail, the new Gmail layout template. So I know that I want to use that. Oh, I must have resaved it. This is a bad one to demo on. All right. Let's see. Yeah, here's one that I used to use. All right, whenever we were sending out information about the training sessions. So I don't have to retype all of this. I can just go in and change a little bit of the information and then send it out. All right, so templates can come in very handy. All right. And then, of course, attachments are simple to do. You send out your message, or you find the email recipient. And then if you want to attach a file to the email, just come down here, do your toolbar, click Attach Files. All right, this will allow you to upload content from your computer, or if it is a content files that are inside Google Drive, just choose the little drive icon here, and then you'll be able to access any of the files that are inside there. All right. And what's great here is that if you choose a file that hasn't been shared, the permissions aren't correct, before you send the message or as you're sending it, Gmail will prompt you to change the permissions here and actually allow you to do that inside of Gmail. So those who actually need to view the content will be able to. All right. Okay. Another thing we want to talk about, these little quick tips, are nudges. And nudges, you can think of them as gentle reminders for messages that may be sitting in your inbox that you've ignored or you've not responded to. So a nudge is going to pop up a notification asking if you haven't responded to this person, do you maybe want to think about responding to them, okay? And those nudges can be turned on or off. You'll find them over here in the settings. So if we click on our gear and then go to see all settings and then scroll down, you can see the two options here, suggest emails to reply to or suggest emails to follow up on. All right, so I have both of these options turned on, and they have helped me occasionally get back with someone who I've maybe taken a little longer than I should have in responding. All right, so that's there. Another useful thing is making use of stars. All right, and so you can see I've got some ways that I can make messages a little more visible, or I can basically come in and say this one is important or worth noting. You can see in some of these I've got little exclamation points here, and I can toggle through these different types of, we'll call them just stars or little graphics that'll sit beside the message. And so the way you change those is, again, to go to your gear, go to all settings, and then you're going to see right here which ones will be available to you from your inbox. All right, so you can just have 1 star available, 4 stars, or everything. Okay, and if you want, you can actually drag some of these out, so they don't have to all be available. You can choose which ones you want to be able to cycle through and apply to your message. Okay, this is a brand new feature here. So if you have been checking your email over the course of this past week, you should have one from technology, and the styling is a little bit different. And we're taking advantage of this new feature that's built into email. It's called layouts. So if we click compose, you're going to see the choose layout option. This is brand new. So if we click that, look at this. And these are going to be great. If you have a message in mind that perhaps in the past you've created a newsletter for, well, now you can create something similar but have it all be inside of an email. And there's many different layouts that you can choose from, and you can click on these and preview what they're going to look like. Right, and these are fully customizable. Right, and you can see there are a lot to choose from. And what you can do is the same as what I did. You can use your Alcoa colors. The way you're going to do that is just click on default styling right here. Pick the color that you want to use, as well as the font. Maybe upload a logo, and then whenever you create these layouts, you'll sort of have a brand that you can work with. You can go into the footer, and you can customize some information there, as well as the links. All right, the links are going to appear as little buttons in your messages. All right, so if I can find something from me, let's see. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so here's one that I sent out in testing, the course of testing this feature. So you can see you can bring in your graphics. Some of these can be animated if you want. That's another way to get folks' attention. And then here's what your links look like down at the bottom. All right, so check out that new feature. Folks here like to take vacations, or we're going to be away from our desks, maybe not checking email. So if you're going to be out of town, you want to make sure you set your vacation responder. All right, we're going to find that also inside our settings. So just click on your gear, go to see all settings. And then if we scroll down, okay, leave us toward the bottom here. Here is the vacation responder. You can tell it what day you want it to start and when you want it turned off. Just enter your message there. You want to use rich formatting, you can. All right, and then before you close out of this, make sure you save the changes and it will be applied. Okay. Looking for, I didn't really cover signatures all that much. I didn't say anything about it, but just know that if you need to change your signature, those options are here as well. And I actually have on this presentation, where did I put it? Oh no, it's actually in the resource doc. A little video tutorial that will teach you how to customize an Alcoa signature to where it places the graphic on the left-hand side, and then you can put your information over on the right. And we have it broken down with little templates that are specific to each school. All right, so if you wanted to check that out, just go back to the resource doc, click right here, custom Alcoa signature. It'll open up the document here where those templates are. So just click make a copy. All right, so basically these are the templates. You're just going to copy them. And how you get it in there, watch this little video. It's linked. It's an animated GIF. It shows you step by step how to take this and how to put it in Gmail. And then once it's in there, you can change your name and do whatever else you need to do to it. Okay? All right. we do want to quickly cover Gmail mobile. And for this, what I did, because it's going to be a little bit easier to see, is I embedded GIFs that I created using Gmail mobile. All right, and so the first one that I'd like to show you is going to demonstrate how to quickly switch accounts in Gmail. So you may have a personal Gmail that you use or already installed if you're using an Android device. That's fine. I've had folks come up here that want to be able to access their school email, and they have to do so, but they haven't been able to figure out how you switch accounts. So in Gmail mobile app, it's quite simple. All you're going to do, once it's installed, and it's a free install from the App Store or Google Play, just click on the profile icon and then choose the account. So if I'm going to tap my school account, I'll see all my other accounts, and it's just a matter of choosing the one I want to get in. We'll watch it one more time here. All right. So here we are in the inbox. Tap your account in the upper right-hand side, and then choose the other account you want to get into. It's as easy as that. All right, switching accounts. Accessing the mobile settings where you can customize and make changes to the experience inside of Gmail, that's done. We have a demo of that here on this page. All right, so we're going to start in our inbox. We're going to tap on the settings over there on the left. Tap settings one more time, and then you'll see here we can manage our apps in Gmail. All right, so we can turn those on or off. This is going to allow us to do chat as well as Google Meet inside Gmail. All right, if these options aren't turned on, you're not going to see them. Other options here are going to allow you to set notifications as well as the sound that is associated with the notifications. All right, so again, you just click your settings icon, tap it one more time down there, and then go to your apps in Gmail. I've chosen chat here. We've turned it on. All right, and then if we want to manage notifications, we'll go back to settings, and there are email notifications, and here are our sounds. You can just change those as well. Okay, just like in the web version of Gmail, you have the option to add attachments using Gmail mobile. Let's show you how that works. All right, you're going to load Gmail mobile,
Second shift.
compose a message, then tap the little paper clip.
And he was like, okay,
What
so
it's going to do is it's going
I
to
sent him a
allow you to
screenshot.
scroll through your photos or your
And I was
drive.
like, I said 8:15 on accident.
Just
and he said,
choose
"You
the
mean
file you want to share.
I was like,
And if it's the permissions aren't set up correctly, it'll prompt you to go ahead and share it. All right, so let's watch that one more time. So we're inside Gmail.
I'm like, you gotta text
Paperclip.
Patrick's
All right,
the
there's
good go-to person. He's the
destinations we can
person
choose
you
from.
should
We'll go
know.
to Drive down there at the bottom. We chose a spreadsheet, a Google Sheet,
I'm
then
just the right
send.
person. My job is to
We're going
send
to
it.
continue, and
And
then
like,
there's confirmation. Are you sure? And then it
Patrick
goes out.
doesn't know for too long. Tell him to shut up
easy.
whenever he needs to shut
And
up.
then lastly, built into the Gmail app is the ability to make phone calls. All right, you may not have known this. So all you have to do is follow these instructions here. It's really easy.
My legs are kind of
All
tan.
right, so you load the Gmail app, click on the chat option down at the bottom, and select a contact. And when you do, you're going to see the phone icon. That allows you to make a phone call. All right, so it's not going to carry the video with it.
Here we go.
All
This
right,
is a little
and then you would
conversation.
end it just like you would a normal phone call.
What time does the second
All right,
shift
so one
start?
more time, you launch the Gmail app.
Quarter workers.
Okay,
Second shift, 9:15 until 10:15. She told me I have to work
go to
second
the
shift.
chat option, choose the contact, then click the or tap the phone icon, and then you're making a call to them. All right, and then of course you can hang up. Okay, that's all we wanted to cover today. Like I said before, make sure you take advantage of this Google resource doc. This has everything that I covered and then some. All right, there's a link to the Gmail help via Google, Gmail cheat sheet, which is useful. And then, of course, before we leave here today, you want to make sure that you get your training certificate generated, as this will grant you 1 hour of in-service credit. So click the training certificate button right here, and then click the link. It'll take you to the Google form that you will fill out. We'll get it to load here, hopefully. Hopefully it won't take quite as long on your end. Here we are. Just go ahead and fill out the information and then click submit, and you'll receive an email in about 30 seconds with a certificate in PDF format. Appreciate everyone attending today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. tlarson@alcoaschools.net. This session was recorded, so we'll be posting the video recording here in a couple days. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask those now. If not, we'll consider ourselves done for today. Thank you for attending. We appreciate it. Bye, Selena.